I'm Tom. Good to see you guys. This is my voice, not a smoker. Don't worry about me, I'll be fine. This is how I talk. All right, so in terms of old school, sometimes it really costs to go old school. Because if you're going to go old school, it's like art. You have to kind of give your life for your art, and sometimes it really costs you. So in my case, it always has to do with cars, and particularly cars with flat engines, so horizontally opposed engines. Subarus, Volkswagens, Corvairs. I'm a sucker for these cars, and usually the engines are in the back. That's the thing to keep in mind. So back in 1994, I was wanting to go old school with my family because everybody's driving minivans, proper cars with safety features. And I had a Subaru, of course, and I had three girls, my wife and me and three girls, jammed in the back of the Subaru. So my girls were almost 6, they were almost 4, almost 6, and almost 8. So they'd sit in the back seat of the Subaru. It was getting a little cramped. And I always wanted a Volkswagen Vanagon. Because growing up, my best friend's dad, who was the art teacher, he had a 4-speed Volkswagen microbus. And if you grow up in a microbus, that sound and the give and take and the smoke, and he smoked a pipe, it was just so awesome. He was an art teacher, he was so cool. And it was like, man, this guy is old school now, and it's the 70s. Well, come the 90s, and I've got kids, I'm like, I want to go old school, I want a Vanagon. And so the Subaru was cool, but when I saw this 87 blue Volkswagen Vanagon in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, it was almost like a vision. It was like, there was like a street light, and it was nighttime, I'm like, and I said to my wife, honey, that's it, that's the car. And my mom, because I didn't make much money, I was a poor campus minister at the time at Bucknell University up in Central PA. So my mom would help me buy cars. So, okay, Tom, how much is it? It was, I don't know, $6,000. I have to say, she helped me buy the car. And we got this thing, man, and it was awesome. It was an automatic, but besides that, it was cool Vanagon. So much space in it. I look back and the kids are way back there. And so one time, I was taking my kids up a long hill in Lewisburg. See, the poor people lived in the town with the college students, and we had rich people, like my dentist, lived on this hill. His name was Dr. Robinson, Dr. David Robinson, not a basketball player. But he lived on this hill where all the rich people live, outside of Lewisburg. And we were taking our kids there for some event, some party or something. And the three girls were in the back bench seat. Remember, the engine's in the back, and they're riding back there. You hear the engine. It's awesome. We're going up this long hill. Summertime, 94, summer 94. And I hear Katie, my oldest daughter, very dutiful, like, Daddy, what? The engine's smoking, I think. I'm like, nah, it's fine. I look in the rearview mirror, a little bit of white smoke. I'm like, it's cool. It's a Volkswagen. It's all right, girls. They're like, Daddy, what? And it's white smoke, there's a lot of it. So I look in my rearview mirror, I'm like, oh crap. Oh, it really is hot. Well, I think I toasted it. So we get to Robinson's house, we park the car, and sure enough, I toasted the engine. I overheated it, which always happens. These things are really quirky, and you learn over the years to never buy another one, but I did that. But I had two. I raised my kids in these things, because I'm old school, man. I want them to have memories. So I blew the engine. I blew half the engine. So it got towed to Becker Volkswagen, of all places, in Danville, no relation. And it had been there a couple days, and I'm scratching my head like, crap, this is like a $3,000 job. I don't have this kind of money. I didn't want to have to call my mom again about the money. Like, shoot, I don't have savings for this thing. It costs to go old school, man. But so here we go, the first test. So I finally just called Becker Volkswagen. I was like, oh, yeah, this is Tom Becker. Just wondering, you guys towed my Vanagon in, the 87. Oh, yeah, that one. Hold on a second, Mr. Becker. Puts me on hold. I'm like, what is this? Comes back on. Mr. Becker. I'm like, yeah. He goes, we didn't call you because we didn't really know what to say. And at this point, I'm like, I'm already $3,000 in. I'm so cool about it. I don't care. What are they going to tell me? What could be worse? And he's like, we weren't really sure how to tell you this, Mr. Becker, but when we brought the car in, it was the end of the day, and the keys were in the car, and we had the engine apart. And Jeremy, I don't know if that was his name, it should be, and our technician, Jeremy, didn't know the engine was apart, and he jumped in and turned it on, blew the pistons out of the block, and essentially blew your entire engine. I'm like, okay, cool. What's that mean? He said, well, we talked to the owner, and we're going to replace the engine for you. I'm like, that's great, I guess. Free of charge. I'm just going to put a new engine. I'm like, I am a supernaturalist. I do believe in prayer. And it's true. It really is true. They put a brand new engine in this thing, and it wasn't the last time I blew that engine or had numerous providential deliverances and angelic visitations and all kinds of things with all kinds of issues with that Volkswagen and another one, but that's for another time. But I just have to say, sometimes it costs to go old school, but it's worth it when you're trying to teach your kids a lesson. Sometimes it costs, but sometimes it really pays to go old school with a Volkswagen. Thank you. Yeah.